Yo, real talk, you wanna know how you know it's race season? And race day is amongst us, huh? I found you. Where you at, boy? Looking for you. Where you at? Mm-hmm.
Fucking send it.
All right, y'all. Day 2. We're back again with some action this time. So I'm actually just following some of Jay from Real Streets texts and tips and tech tips, if you want to call it that. And what I'm doing is actually just like putting the crank in a block with just a light lubricant like ATF, which is why I have that. And I'm going to torque everything down and then check the end play of the crank as well, being as I know the clearances now. So clearances are good. I'm going to check the end play, note that clearance, and then we'll be checking our rod bearing clearance next. And once I got my rod bearing clearance down and everything's good, if everything's good, we'll start our cleanup and get this on the rack. I'm sorry, on the engine stand. And yeah, that's when it will really be time for like actual assembly. So let's do this. A little more work, trying to get a nice little balance of like work and film. So like nice content. So many people hit me up and want more content. So this is my attempt at trying to make that happen. So let's do it. All right, so cranks in and all torque to spec. It's got ATF in there as far as lube concerned. And now let's see how she spins. Yeah, that's nice. That's real nice. That's really nice. So according to Jay from Real Street, what you want to do is you want to spin it nice and smooth in one axis. Spin it in the other. See if anything gets hung up. See if there's any weird areas. No, everything here seems straight. I mean, these cranks obviously have just been balanced, just been looked at and inspected, so yeah, that's nice. All right. So now it's time to take my mag base and check the side-to-side play for the crank. Get that noted, and then we can get this on the stand, and we'll be good to go. All right, so block's clean, bores are clean. They've been gone through with ATF and just a clean towel. Went through a million towels, by the way, trying to make that happen. And here we are with our rod vise. Piston and rods all cleaned up. Gonna pop bearings in here. I actually am completely out of time. I'm gonna have to come back tomorrow night. But I might torque this down, pop a bearing in here, and measure clearance just because, just to see where I'm at. But yeah, so far so good. All right, day 3. Crank's going in for the final time now. So that's it. Got some assembly loom on the mains. The mains have been completely cleaned. The backs of the bearings scrubbed. Everything's set. So let's pop this crank in here and it will be good. Literally just waiting for the stretch gauge to come tomorrow so I can get these bolts properly torqued, and then I can figure out all the main tolerances, just make sure we're good. That's the only reason why I'm not going to pop the pistons in tonight. Those will go in tomorrow night. And I think from there we'll be set. Solid. All right. There's our relatively clean, very used oil pump. Actually, only using a couple pieces from this. Took the relief valve out, took out the outer portion of this gyrator or whatever the hell you want to call it. That piece there on the floor, not using that anymore. Ounces count, right? So just using this. The gear attaches to this piece here. So, you know, we're pretty much closing that up. And yeah. All right. That's the new crank sensor location right here. Used to be directly in the bottom. Now it's on the side. So that's nice. It's starting to look a little bit more like an engine, eh? All right. So a little update. Last night I was like sick as fuck. I had the shakes, fever, everything you could possibly think of. I had to literally call it quits. I came over here, I made one fucking oil line, which was the feed from like the oil filter to the block. I'm gonna show you here in a second. Got the pan fitted, make sure that was right, but I couldn't do anything else, bro. I was like taken out. But the push is on. I got a bunch of boxes today. I got everything. All the dry sump stuff is here, thanks to Brendan at PSI. And now the real hole starts. So we're gonna try and get the pistons into the block. First, we gotta measure the stretch on the rod bolts, make sure they're all good. Once those are all good, pistons can go in. We'll get torqued down. We'll have a short block, and then we can start plumbing the lines for this tri-sump, which thank God the pump's here, because I can already see that's going to be a little bit of a nightmare, especially with dash 12 everything. But it's tight. It's looking really tight. The only real holdup I think I might have is getting the mandrel for the dry sump lathed, because it needs to clear the OEM crank pulley bolt, which I had to get a new bolt to try and get a little bit of space. I mean, let's hope and figure out that we can get that done tomorrow or the next day. And yeah, I mean, that's the push right now. Let me show you guys at least what I got done so far, and then we'll go from there. Got the oil filter mounted. This is pretty much where it's gonna go. Got 45 here, 90 there. This is the first line I made with my new vise, which I'm very happy about. So we, for the most part, have a short block. I mean, the dry sump pan is here. Everything's here. You know, I need to unbox everything here and figure out what we're working with and go from there. Okay, so this is the oil pump, which we gotta get out of here. And yeah, that's the bracket. Let's see how much space we gotta work with here. All right, so kind of been at it for the last few days. Blocks together, rod bolts are stretched, everything's torqued down. Oil pan is on, perfectly cleaned, sealed, so that's good to go. Here's a pump. Actually, you see this bracket right here? I had to order that. I'm so glad I caught that, because I'd have been fucked. That's on, so now the fuel pump's actually there, good to go. Everything here, these are all the dry sump lines. This is kind of the dirty table right now, so these are all the lines that need to get cleaned. The pump needs to get cleaned again. That's why everything here is there. But all we gotta do now, which I'm doing today, is to get all these O-rings out, which I've already done, and get the new O-rings in. Head can go on, and that's when we're on our way to get this in the car. And then we'll go from there. All right, that's 2 out of 4 done. Kind of a pain in the ass. So we got these dimple old ones out. This is what it looks like without the O-ring. This is the O-ring in. So you kind of have to like dig in to the old one. That's why you see like these old, you know, these spread grooves a bit in the head. But you dig in with a pick, and then you rip it out, and then you have to size them, sand them, so they kind of sit flat next to each other with that little thin gap right there. Try and keep that as close as you can. Some people like to lay them on top of each other and cut an angle into the O-ring. Listen, I never had any issues with this. I've had machinists give my engines back to me both ways, both worked. So let me just knock these last 2 out and we'll be good. I've had so many delays today. It's midnight 35, bro. 12:35. I want you to just think about this. I got over here in the garage, started working at, I don't know, maybe 1 this afternoon. It's been 12 hours. Delay after delay after delay. Granted, I did have to go run out and try and do a couple of things as well, but I come back, I go and turn the motor over before I get ready to put the head on. Boom. Engine's just stuck. Won't move. Take it off. The baffle and oil pan's touching the rod, so I had to clearance that. That's a whole mess. It's just one thing after another. So head is on. What you gotta do now is just clean up the head bolts, get them in, get them torqued, and then from there I'm just gonna time it, clearance everything, see how it works out. Hopefully there are no more issues. Tomorrow morning I gotta go to Long Island, get this crank pulley lathed. Jesus Christ. And hopefully when I get back, that'll be the last step. I can just get this in the car, and tomorrow will be a smooth day. If there are any issues, then you're getting taken care of tomorrow. So, let's see. That's it. Look at the time. So time to go snooze for about 3 hours. And then we gotta come back at some point today and get that in the car. I'm done. Good night.